McCarty.
Yeah. This question sort of goes back to education funding. And it's about one of the biggest and more complicated issues with the Waterford town budget this past year, which was over sort of uncertainty and back and forth over whether the Friendship School, which is the magnet school in Waterford that takes students from both New London and Waterford, would continue to get support from the state. Do you want to just sort of briefly explain why there was so much confusion and back and forth over whether the Friendship School would get support from the state and from the state budget, and also tell parents who depend on that school what they can expect in the next couple of years?
Yeah. Thank you for that question. The Friendship School is very important to all of us here in the district. It's the first urban suburban magnet school in the state of Connecticut that really brings together children, pre-K children through kindergarten from New London and Waterford. I was very instrumental early on in bringing the Friendship School. I was on the governance board of the Friendship School for over a decade, and it took a lot of planning to have this project brought in. And it was brought because we realized the true necessity of offering a pre-K education to our children. There's so many beneficial aspects to a pre-K, but above and beyond that, I think it's absolutely fantastic that we were able to introduce young children that could experience diversity and different cultures together, and the long-standing partnerships that we have built with the parents is going to have wonderful effects for years to come. So I'm very proud of that project. I can tell you that at the state level, again, with all of the cuts, this is a RESC school. I just want to preface by saying that the Friendship School is a magnet school, but it's run by Learn. And so the funding mechanism for the preschools is somewhat different than it is for other magnet schools. And so that is why I introduced a piece of legislation to look at some of the parity in magnet school funding. In my opinion, this school meets some of the same criteria that the Chef O'Neill schools meet in other areas of the state. So it would be my hope that I could work, and I've already brought up the superintendents and Learn to Hartford to meet with the Office of Early Education Commissioner. I have plans to meet with the Commissioner of Education to see if there's room within available appropriations. I'm not looking to come back. Everyone has a story in the state that we need more money, but within available appropriations to make this equitable so that our pre-K students are not left out. This is an ongoing issue as far as the Board of Education, and I knew the perception would be in the community. They did say that unless there's available appropriation coming back from the state, they were not certain of the viability of the school given the massive other cuts, which I still claim should not have taken place and will not if we elect more of the Republicans to the legislature who are valuing education, that I'm planning to work on this funding mechanism so that we can maintain the school as a pre-K through K school. The town of Waterford, as you know, through the contract that was made, the state built the school. So if it were no longer to be a school, the town of Waterford would owe clearly $10 million back to the state. That will not happen. There's a plan. We're looking at all kinds of alternatives to maintain it as a school, but my major focus would be to keep it as a pre-K K magnet school. And I may end by just saying years ago, even in a town like Waterford, that some people actually think it's a wealthy town, there are plenty of families in Waterford that rely on this early childhood education school. And the district profiles from years ago would show you that we were very low down in the state as far as families that were sending their children to preschool education, which the benefits are long-lasting. As I said, you save cost savings going into the future with remedial work and special education. So it's a win-win. I think we really have to maintain the Friendship School, and I'm going to do everything. I'm going to really go down fighting and kicking on this one. This is a benefit.
Yeah,
Thank you. Excuse me.
Yeah. Ms. Shaw, comment about the concerns about Friendship School, its future viability.
I absolutely agree that early education is imperative to having a healthy and, well, progressing society, to be quite honest. And I believe that whomever shall be elected should really try to fight and make sure that we obtain the funds necessary to keep this pre-K to K institution.
All right. Thank you. And Ms. Palmer.
Well, I think we're all in agreement on this issue. The Friendship School is a gem. And as a citizen of Waterford, I've lived here for more than 40 years, it's something that I'm very proud of because we were ahead of the curve in putting forth the idea for that school, working with surrounding towns to make that happen. And it would be a shame if that were not to continue. It's something that we should, if anything, expand the program. It showed the rest of the state how communities could come together and come up with a wonderful program. And we all know how important early childhood education has become, much more so than years ago. There was no early childhood education. We've learned the value of it, we've learned the difference that it makes in children's lives, and we certainly should not let that slip away. Perhaps we should analyze what we have to make sure we're allocating our funds properly, that they're going to all segments of the state, but I too would fight as hard as I could to maintain that school because I think it's very important to not only the 39th District, but all of southeastern Connecticut.